There's crucial primary may be more than 9 months away, but for Republicans who want to be president, oh, it's go time. They're visiting, and a majority of the field, some who have declared for 2016, others who have not, descend on the state for a leadership summit this weekend. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, and Marco Rubio among those confirmed to speak. Another attendee, Jeb Bush, getting a head start at a dinner last night where he responded to critics who worry about another Bush in the White House.
I have to prove that I'm not running for president if I go beyond the consideration of this to being an active candidate, trying to break the tie between the Adams family and the Bush family. That's not really isn't my motivation, but I have to prove that. First and foremost, I got to show my heart. Secondly, I have to show that I have ideas that make it possible for America to rise up again. And third, I have to show that I have the leadership skills, not just to yap about it, but to do it.
And here to discuss with us, Jason Johnson, political science professor at Hiram College in politics and editor for The Source magazine, as well as Tara Setmayer, CNN political commentator and Republican strategist. So, Jason, Bush seemingly admitting that he's going to have to overcome perceptions about his family, though I found it very interesting that he compared his family to the Adams family and not another dynasty like I don't know, the Kennedys, right, perhaps,
exactly.
You know,
the Gores.
Or the Gores, exactly. So how is he going to break through and sort of dismiss that concern?
Well, I think he's doing a great job already. He doesn't have the suit on. He's got the sleeves rolled up. He talked about the fact that he drives himself to Chipotle instead of being driven there like Hillary Clinton did. So I think Bush is really going for the I'm a regular guy. I've been out in the real world for the last 14 years. That's how he's going to counter the dynasty talk.
Okay, so Tara, a Boston Globe reporter had this to say: the one person looming over this entire two-day weekend is Hillary Clinton. So how do they deal with her?
Well, I think you've already seen this start already. I mean, it started with Marco Rubio's announcement on Monday, which was an amazing contrast, and the juxtaposition of today versus very yesterday, and he even used those words, is pretty much the beginning of what you're going to see when it comes to Republicans going after Hillary. Because now that Hillary is officially announced, it's about her, not so much President Obama so much anymore, because he's really yesterday's news. He's on his way out. So what you're going to see this weekend, I think, is a lot of I don't think you're going to see the 11th commandment broken of, you don't go after your fellow Republicans too much. Right. You'll see veiled shots because somebody needs to emerge and they want to have their own identities because there's 19 of them that are going to be there. But I think you're going to see Hillary Clinton be the center of those attacks versus each other in this weekend.
It's very safe. It's a little bit of a feeding.
It's friendly territory.
What's interesting, and I do want to show that we have those Republican candidates who are up, and what many people, obviously the most popular get the most press, but it's interesting because there are at least 20 people in the GOP, almost 20 people who have actually declared that they want to run. Will any of them succeed in getting the kind of traction they need to be more relevant after the weekend than perhaps they are going into the weekend?
I think John Kasich and Kelly Ayotte and some of these candidates are making a great run for VP. And that's essentially what they're doing. Look, everybody knows who the top tier candidates are. It's Scott Walker, it's Jeb Bush, maybe even Marco Rubio. Those are the guys who are probably going to be able to get the most money, the most attention. Everybody else is hoping, look, if somebody at the top stumbles, I can run and jump ahead of them, or maybe I can get on the ticket or a new administration.
So this is basically how high you go, essentially, Tara.
And not necessarily. I think that now those are probably the front runners now, but things change so quickly, and a breakout performance here or there can bump someone up or down rather quickly. Like Scott Walker was there were murmurings of him as being a potential candidate, but people thought his charisma lacked and that he just didn't have it in the fire in the belly until the Iowa Summit, the Iowa Freedom Summit, which happened in January, where he had a spectacular performance by most people's standards, and it showed a side of him that those who were skeptical of him said, oh my goodness, this guy actually does have some personality. He's got a great message, and maybe he's a shot. And that propelled him going into CPAC, gave him some momentum into CPAC and now into this event where he has basically the keynote speaking spot. He's closing this conference. So that was a result of his performance last time, and he wasn't considered a top tier before that.
So the Republicans go home, they got a great weekend, and then who comes in just to sort of make things a little different is Hillary Clinton, because she's expected to be back then on Monday. And it's interesting because she said that in 2008 it was New Hampshire that really helped her find her voice and rebound against the candidate Barack Obama. So do you think, how does this strategically work. Okay, the Republicans leave, then she comes in, you know, and it's because New Hampshire's so important. What do we see going on here?
Well, this is also Hillary Clinton recognizing that, you know, she gets to set this narrative. Okay, there's 19 Republicans. They are going to take some shots at each other. They are still they are crabs in a barrel right now. And Hillary gets to come in and say, I'm above the fray. Oh, New Hampshire? I'm just dropping by. I just wanted to talk to you about what I'm going to do for healthcare. Yeah, just right on my way back to Washington, D.C. So this is a perfect opportunity. She's basically going to be trailing them throughout most of this campaign and showing up as the calm, relaxed person after sort of the scrum.
Well, she's got a lot of work to do. If what happened, the disaster that was her Scooby-Doo van trip in Iowa, is any indication of what she's going to be doing in these little small, controlled, wag the dog type settings in New Hampshire, the people in New Hampshire are sophisticated enough to know what's authentic and what isn't, and they're going to look at her and say, wait, we want to know what's real. You know, if you're going to continue to manufacture all of these and control these events, I don't think that's going to go over very well for the folks in New Hampshire, and she knows it. So when she goes there in these small settings, she better learn. Her folks better teach her how to be a little bit more authentic and not control it so much, or else it's going to continue to be almost the butt of many jokes, which you've seen all week long.
Okay, well, the best quotes today: crabs in a barrel, Scooby-Doo van. All right. Tara Setmayer, Jason Nelson, we really appreciate both of you being here for us. And of course, we are going to be talking to you a lot more over the coming months leading up to the election. I will be right back. Thanks.